But the New York Liberty today, like, as a team, I don't think did a very good job of stopping the Indiana Fever. I feel like one of their goals again today was to go and stop. Like, their goals was to stop Caitlin, and they just didn't. Like, when Caitlin shoots over her averages, and again, like, they held Stewie to under it. It just doesn't, like, you're not going to win in those scenarios. Like, if you have a player like shooting under their averages, or like, sorry, averaging, going over their averages, while at the same time, like, shooting above their percentages. Like, so if you look again, oh god, at, where are we going? At this right here. So we should have most, oh god, this has been a bit of a disaster. We're trying to get the paint up. Okay, cool. Should have it here. There we go. So in these scenarios here, like, every time Caitlin kind of came off a screen, so like Valia or something's coming to screening Caitlin, like, they did blitz her hard. They did blitz her, but in fairness to the Indiana Fever, is they recovered a lot. So like, a lot of these times, like, if you looked away, Aaliyah was getting open for three off Caitlin. Like, Aaliyah was setting the screen, Caitlin was going to here. Aaliyah was literally just popping to here. Caitlin was going to here. Defender, and it was like one dribble, not even looking where Caitlin is, like, over the head pass into Aaliyah's shooting pocket, bang, bang. She's got that. But one of the things that they did in a lot of scenarios was, like, if Caitlin's there on the wing, early on in the game, this is where Caitlin's got a couple of her turnovers. So what they were doing is they had Han in this position here. Like, Han is 6'11". So what they were trying to almost do is, say, let's say Sabrina's guarding Caitlin. So Sabrina is guarding Caitlin on this side, trying to push Caitlin into the middle. Because what Caitlin likes to do is she likes to drive middle and then go this way. She kind of likes to get this angle. She likes to get someone in jail to go this way. Because if she can go in at this angle, it means if nothing's on, she can go and dribble in a circle, which she did a lot in this game. She was scared to take layups on John Quell. She dribbled in a circle. But with Han in there twice in the first half, Han's able to pinch. And Han's 7 foot tall. So Caitlin takes this angle, expecting, okay, a normal defender is going to do a certain thing. Han just reached in and stripped her twice. Like, she got stripped twice by Han. But one of the times after that in the first half, Han kind of got switched onto her. And in those scenarios there, it's like, so I think she drove from this side, Han switched onto her, and she just kind of ran outside and just starts dancing, dribble in, step back, I'm going to shoot a 30-footer over Han. And then she was feeling herself a couple of times. Like, Caitlin was feeling herself. Like, Caitlin was here and had Stewie on her. And she's dancing, step back, bang. And you're just like, what the actual fuck? Like, if you're Breanna Steward, who is a legitimate who's been a depoy candidate this year, you're just like, what are we doing? And in the second half, like, Caitlin didn't really do much. Caitlin really did not do much when it came down to it, with, like, scoring in the second half. But at the same time, like, Caitlin was just getting to this position here and able to, they were basically letting Caitlin Nash dribble the whole time. And she didn't get what she normally does off her Nash dribble. Like, when Caitlin normally goes this way, there's normally a KK or a Mo Billings or an Aaliyah cutting down. I need to rewatch to see if they covered it. Caitlin didn't get a lot out of her Nash dribbles. I just kind of felt like she was just Nash dribbling to nowhere. Like, she was pulling an Erica Wheeler on it. But in the second half, there were so many assists where Caitlin just got to this area here. And suddenly they help over with a player. And she just kind of goes around, hitting somebody wide open for a layup. And it's one of those things, again, with Caitlin's plus minus, where it's not plus minus, sorry. like with some of Caitlin's turnovers and some for assists, where it's like you kind of live with some of the turnovers. In the second half, 0 turnovers. At no stage does she dribble in your hand. But the big problem is that there is a defense that Liberty can show that can really trouble the Fever and really troubles Caitlin. Like, I don't think people understand how bad Caitlin Clark is running as a zone running point guard. I think a lot of people kind of underestimate just how bad she is as a zone point guard. That's been the one, for me, that's like the one real knock. Like, when it comes to Caitlin, there's a lot of times where you're like, there are negative things. But for me, that's like one of the real knocks, is that I feel like she's a terrible, like legitimately terrible zone point guard. So the Liberty just don't have Phoebish. So normally Liberty would play a player here. And they kind of run this zone where it's like, you got kind of a Stewie you got Stewie here, and you've got Phoebish here, and you've got like Astier and Breanna here. So what they do is that you're funneling into Jonquel. So what this zone is that Phoebish and Stewie, their job is, say you have an offensive player here, Caitlin, and wherever you have your offensive players. The job of these two players is to try to force Caitlin Clark, is to stop the early wing pass. And then once the ball goes to the wing, it's here, comes over, stops the ball coming across. While they're doing that, you've got small players there. What is the worry about small players there? And you don't normally have them there. Is that Jonquel Jones is covering everything in this area, and teams don't run double posts anymore. So Jonquel can cover the single post. And whether it's Sabrina, or whether it's Astia, whether it's Beck Allen, in that lineup, they can all cover secondary bigs. And even if you're running off the 3-point line, if there's a guard here, you're running them off and funneling them into Jonquel. The problem is that there's no Phoebish. So when there's no Leo Phoebish, you can't run the 6'4" Stewie Phoebish top of the zone, which the Fever had literally no answer for. Like, today we just saw blitzes off pick and rolls, and bad blitzes because Jonquel's slow, a lot of turning of the corner. We saw a couple of like iffy throw ahead passes from Caitlin in the first half, but like all around, I think they did a pretty rough job guarding Caitlin. And I felt like they let Caitlin control the game. And if you let Caitlin Clark control a game, you've lost. Like, that's just my opinion with the Indiana Fever, is that if you let Caitlin Clark control the game, unless you are the Lynx and you're the best team in the league, because the Lynx early on especially let Caitlin Clark control that. It can be a really tough scenario. We got a Venom raid. How are you, Venom? How are you? I'm guessing Venom's got that Stephanie White video getting ready to go. If Caitlin misses that Toronto game, I'm going to actually lose it. You know what? That would be the funniest video ever. I traveled 5,000 miles to see Caitlin Clark and she was suspended. That would be the funniest video ever. Like, that would make me going to see her in the World Cup even more fun. But yeah, it is. This was a iffy coaching performance by DeMarco. But again, like, it's tough when you start off with you have Pauline Astier guarding Caitlin Clark. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize how down bad the Liberty are when Phoebish isn't there, and we all thought BLH was going to be a player, but clearly not.